Hi, I'm Teacher Hernan, and welcome to Math for You. In this video, the topic is on solving challenging math problems or contest math problems. But before we will begin, please do subscribe if you are new to my channel and click that bell button if you want to be updated with my latest videos. Are you ready, kids? Now let's start with the easy questions. Let's have number 1. How many tenths are there in 1 and 1/5? Remember, the tenths here is with THS. So it's meaning it's 1/10. Okay? So how many tenths again are there in 1 and 1/5? So what will you do with 1 and 1/5? Change this to improper fraction. So how will you change this to improper fraction? Multiply 5 times 1, then plus 1. That will give you, again, 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6/5. So again, after you change this to improper, since we need tenths, 1/10, how many 1/10s? 1/10s are there. So just simply change 5 to 10. How will you change 5 to 10? Get its equivalent fraction. So if I'll multiply this by 2, I'll get 12/10 or 12 tenths. So again, 6/5 is the same as 12 tenths. So meaning the answer the answer here is 12. There are 12 tenths in 1 and 1/5. What about number 2? What is 1/3? The sum of 13 and 23. So here you have to get first the sum of these two numbers. So how to get the sum? You add, right? So 13 plus 23, that will give you 36. Then after that, get 1/3. How to get 1/3 of 36? Yes, you divide this by 3. So 36 divided by 3 is 12. So our answer is 12. Now let's have problem number 3. How many hundredths are there in 204,108? You simply divide this by 100, right? But you don't need to divide this by 100 because there is an easier way to know how many hundredths are there. Let's start with how many tenths. If you want to know how many tenths are there in a number, you simply remove the ones digit. So if you ask how many tenths are there, remove this ones digit, then that's the answer, 20,410. But if you want to know how many hundredths, you remove the tens, the ones, and the tens digit. Then what is left is the answer. So the answer is 2,041. What about for number 4? What is the next term in the sequence? 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, blank. So what do you think is the next number there? So you have to look for the pattern, right? So if you notice, if I'll add these two numbers, 2 plus 3, that's 5. It will give you the next number there. Then if you add these two, that will give you 8, the next number there. Can you follow? If I'll add the 5 and 8, that will give you the next number 13 there. Meaning, you simply add two consecutive numbers to get the next number. So to get the missing number here, you simply add these two. 8 plus 13. Then that is the missing number. What's 8 plus 13? Yes, that's 21. So the answer there is 21. Now let's proceed with average question. Let's solve problem number 1. The ratio of boys to girls in a school is 3:5. If there are 360 boys, how many pupils are there in the school? For you to solve this word problem, you better use blocks, okay? Let's say boys, then girls. So the ratio is 3:5. So this is for boys, then this is for the girls. So let's draw 3 blocks for the boys. 1, 2, 3. Then 5 for the girls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We know that there are 360 boys, meaning these 3 blocks represent 360 boys. So what does each block here represent? So what will you do with 360? Yes, you divide it by 3 blocks. And that will give you 120. So one block here is 120. So with these blocks here, each block is 120. So if you want to get the total number of pupils in that school, you can multiply 120 times, how many blocks are there? There are 8 blocks, correct? So just multiply 120 times the 8 blocks because each block represents 120. So let's multiply 120 times 8 here. That's 0. 16 carry 1, 9. So meaning there are 960 pupils in that school or in the school. Now let's solve problem number 2. The average of 5 consecutive numbers is 30. Find the sum of the first 2 numbers. When you say consecutive, so if you start with 1, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 consecutive numbers. Or if you have even numbers starting with 2, you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's consecutive numbers. So let's list down. Let me write 5 blanks for these 5 numbers. For consecutive numbers, the middle number is always the average. So meaning that since 30 is their average, so the middle number is 30. Again, for consecutive numbers, the middle number is the average. So meaning the first 2 numbers here are 28 and 29. Then the other 2 numbers here are 31 and 32. So the question is, find the sum of the first 2 numbers. So these are the first 2 numbers, so just add them. So our answer is, what's 28 plus 29? Yes, it's 57. So the answer is 57. Now let's proceed with problem number 3. The sum of 2 numbers is 176. If their difference is 20, what is the smaller number? Now let me use blocks to solve this problem. So let's say this block represents the smaller number, then this block represents the bigger number. Now look at here. If I'll remove this block, these 2 are equal, right? Meaning, this is their difference, which is 20. Do you agree? Again, if you add these 2, the sum is 176. So these 2 blocks represent 176. So, how to get these 2 equal blocks? Or what does each block here represent? So what will you do? You have to remove first the 20 so that you will have 2 equal blocks. So let's remove, meaning you subtract 176 minus the 20. That will give you 156. Meaning these 2 blocks represent 156. So how to get 1 block? So, okay, you divide 156 by 2 blocks, 2 equal blocks. And that will give you 78. So 1 block here is 78. Did you get that? So, meaning the bigger number is 78 and the 20 here. So the bigger number is 98. But we are looking for the smaller number. So our answer is 78. Now let's proceed with the difficult problems. Let's say problem number 1. John added 12 to a number. He then multiplied the sum by 3 and divided the product by 4. If the quotient was 15, what was the number? So let's start with the number. We did not do the number yet, right? So let's use n for that number. So the first he did was to add 12. So let's add 12 here. Then the sum, what did he do with the sum? Multiply by 3. So times 3. Then finally, he divided that into 4. Then he got 15 rather. So if you want to get the missing number here, you simply work backward. So meaning you start from 15, working backward till you get the value of n. But don't forget, when you work backward, multiplication changes to division, or division changes to multiplication. So with addition and subtraction. If it is addition, change to subtraction, or if it is subtraction, change to addition. So let's start working backward. So we have here 15. This is division, right? So instead you divide, this time you multiply. So first is 15 times, since this is division, change to multiplication. So 15 times 4, that will give you 60. Then after that, this is multiplication, so change to division. So 60. Again, change this to division, so it becomes divided by 3. So 60 divided by 3, that's 20. After that, the next is addition, so change to subtraction. So 20 minus 12, that will give you 8. So the value of n here is 8. If you check, 8 plus 12, that's 20. The sum is 20 times 3, that's 60. Then divide by 4 to give you 15. Easy, right? Now let's solve difficult problem number 2. The problem is, the perimeter of a rectangle is 60 cm. If the width is 13 cm rather, what is the area of the rectangle? So as you know, a rectangle has 2 lengths and 2 widths, right? So let me use blocks to solve this problem. So these 2 blocks, these 2 equal blocks represent the width. Then these 2 blocks, 2 equal blocks represent the length. Now we know that each width is 60 cm. So this block it's 13 rather. The width is 13 cm. So each block here represents 13 cm. Again, the perimeter is 60 cm, meaning if you add all this, that will give you 60 cm. So how do we get the length now? So what we do, if I remove this, you will get 2 equal blocks, right? So better remove this, meaning you subtract this from 60. So 13 and 13 will give you 26. Let's minus 26 here. That will give you 34. So these 2 blocks represent 34. So how to get now 1 block? Yes, you simply divide this into 2 equal blocks. If I'll divide this by 2, I'll get 17, meaning each block here represents 17 cm. So with this, now we know the width and the length. We can get now the area of the rectangle. How do we get the area of a rectangle? Yes, you simply multiply the length and the width. You're correct. Let's do it here. Area again is length times width. So the length is, as we know, is 17. Then the width is 13. So just multiply 17 times 13. So what's 17 times 13? Yes, it's 221. But don't leave your answer like this. We have to write the correct unit. The unit given here is cm. Since this is area, so we use cm squared or square centimeters. So our answer is, the area of this rectangle is 221 square centimeters. That's all for now. I hope you learned something. See you in the next video.